Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Mona's Take. I am your host, Mona Rose, and we are here to talk about everything reality TV. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything I have coming up. People are acting on a whole nother level on that. So can't wait to see that karma train coming through. Choo-choo. Mood of the day. Really? You gotta give us more credit than that. Some people, buckle up, buttercup. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Alright, we're going to jump back in where we left off. The feeds came back for the outsiders after the veto competition, and it sounds to me like they had a different veto competition than what the inside of the house had. Remember, the inside did the stay or fold guessing challenge where they guesses how much whatever is in a jar. And they could stay or fold. That's what the inside had. The outside, they've not talked about their veto competition at all. The only thing that was said was Joseph said that that competition was exhausting. So I'm thinking if it's the stay and fold, there's no way that he could have been exhausted after that. So I'm thinking that they had some other type of challenge. I noticed that every single thing was out of the pool and out of the, around the pool. Like everything was pushed to one side of the yard. So I'm wondering if they didn't have some type of competition to where they were in the pool. I don't know. No clue. Kyle did have a talk with Terrence again, and they talked about when they go back inside, the story that they're going to have to get straight before they go back in. And Terrence is supposed to tell everybody that Joseph is the one that told him about the leftovers and about everybody's gang. And that's why he got sent home. It's not going to fly. Monty and actually all of them, Monty, Taylor, Michael, and Brittany have all talked about it. And they say that if Kyle and Alyssa comes back into that house, and unless Alyssa won veto, they weren't going to believe anything that was said, basically, from Kyle or Alyssa. So they've already got their minds made up that if Kyle and Alyssa come back in the house, they're the first ones on the block. And I'm thinking that maybe the questioning in the DR is what has gotten Monty and Taylor to thinking that Joseph's going to be the one that's leaving. I don't think those same questions have been asked to Michael, because I think if they were, Michael would make a different decision. I think if he knew or thought for sure that Joseph was going home, he would take a shot at Monty. But he's still talking about playing it safe, so I don't think he has a clue what's going on the outside. I think Terrence and Taylor may have had some questions in the DR that led them to believe that Joseph may be the one going home. What really sucks about that is Taylor wanted to take out Terrence. Last week, that was her target, was Terrence, when she put him on the block. And then Joseph and Monty got in her ear and changed it from Terrence to Indy, got her to change her target. And then from Indy to Alyssa. So Joseph and Monty had a big part in Terrence still being in the house, being able to win HOH, being able to win veto, and being able to send Joseph home. And Taylor and Monty are talking, and they said, what if Terrence won the veto and he doesn't use it? Then I know Joseph's going home. It's like, well, I guess they spoke it into existence, because that's exactly what happened. Turner, Kyle, and Alyssa talk about them forming a new alliance with the three of them and Terrence. Now, I think the reason Kyle is doing this is because I think that in Kyle's mind, I think that he's thinking that he has Michael and Brittany. He's thinking when he goes back in the house and this big move has been made, that Michael and Brittany are going to join the four of them, which gives them a 6-person alliance. I don't believe so. Michael does not like sloppy gang. He's made several comments about the other side of the house and how sloppy they are. And I don't think that Michael's going to want to be a part of that. I may be wrong, but seeing how Michael's played this whole game, I don't see him sticking his neck out for Kyle at this point. They talk about how they have to stick together when they go back in the house. because everyone's going to be mad if Joseph goes home. Kyle talks to Terrence again and tells him that if he gets HOH this week, he's putting Michael and Monty on the block if Monty is still there. He says, I'm not trying to backdoor him. I'm going to put him on the block and tell him y'all fight for the veto, and whichever one leaves is a plus for us. I don't think that's a wise move. I honestly see Michael winning whatever comp he's playing in. He's that good. He has 6 wins underneath his belt, and we're halfway through. I'm sure by the end of this season, unless something goes horribly wrong, he's probably going to hold the record for the most comps on Big Brother. Kyle and Terrence talk about getting Turner to spill the beans. Terrence says, yes, I want to work with the 4 of y'all, but I don't feel comfortable saying that I will go forward with the 4 of us walking back into that house if Turner is still lying to me. And Kyle said, well, let me plant some seeds in his head that if he wants to stay, he needs to throw Joseph under the bus so that he can stay and the 4 of them can move forward. When they go back in the house, worst case scenario, it's 4 against 4. Although if you look at it, Alyssa hasn't done anything. Terrence came in second place in the veto, or in the HOH. I don't know what the veto was. He did win that. Turner is a strong competitor. I think Kyle can be a strong competitor if he puts his mind to it. But I don't see them going up against Michael, Brittany, Monty, and Taylor. All 4 of them are strong. Brittany's probably the weakest link over there, but if it's a mental comp, she's already proven she can take it. So 4 against 4, I don't think it's going to be turning in Kyle's favor. I honestly think the karma train's coming for him. I do. It's going to hit hard. Kyle says, you don't tell him that you know from me, but tell him that you know bits and pieces from other people, but don't tell him it's from me. And then we'll see if we can't get him to open up to you and tell you the truth. And even if Turner does that, if they go back into that house, I don't see Turner staying with those 4. I see Turner going right back to Michael and Brittany and Monty and Taylor. And in that scenario, he's on the bottom of that pack. So I don't know. This is going to be a shit show come Thursday night, I'm sure. I'm going to make sure I get plenty of rest because I'm sure I'm going to be up all night Thursday night. Oh my God, Taylor. Girl, baby girl. She is getting way too comfortable and feeling secure in that house, I think. She just told Brittany, or asked Brittany, if we get to the final 5 with Michael, do you think it's going to be hard to get him out? Because we're going to have to get him out if we're going to go to the end. Now, I don't know if Brittany's going to share that information with Michael. I would assume so, since that is her number 1. She may play strategically and keep it in her back pocket in case she needs it. But, Taylor, what were you thinking? No. That's a question for maybe Monty, but not Brittany. And just like that, the feed's cut. They had several wall yellers last night. They posted pictures and videos of them outside the studio with megaphones, and what was said was, Kyle's a liar, save Joseph. Now, the house gets immediately go on lockdown. Of course, the insiders probably go to the HOH room. The only other room I can see them putting the outsiders in is either the car room or the bubble room, so that they don't have access to each other. But evidently, this has continued all night long. And from what one of my sources are telling me is that they put them back out in the backyard, because I said, did they move them? We haven't had feeds from them in almost 16 hours now. We've got the feeds from the inside that came back this morning at 10, but they have showed absolutely nothing of the backyard. So I text her and I'm like, what's going on? What do you think? She said that they put them back in the backyard last night, but they're blaring music so that they're trying to drown out the wall yellers because it's still apparently going on today. This, in my opinion, is the stupidest thing on earth. You are ruining any chance we have of getting any game talk to know anything that's going on in that backyard. At least when we had the feeds, we would kind of know where things stand. Now, we're not going to know anything. We're not going to know what happened. I think that if they did hear what was said, because what was posted on Twitter was jumbled. You couldn't understand it. But it's probably because they were so close to the megaphone. If they heard it, Terrence has two ways to go. He can think that they're lying and that they're just trying to save Joseph. Somebody's setting it up so that Joseph doesn't go home. And he'll get pissed for somebody trying to manipulate his HOH. Or he will believe what's being said, although if it's still going on today and it started last night, I'm thinking that if I was Terrence, I would be like, this is too much. They're doing too much. I don't believe anything they're saying, and I would go along with my plans. So right now they're blaring music so that the house guests can't hear anything that's coming over the wall, which is why the feeds won't show the backyard because of copyright issues with the music. So that's speculation. That's not 100%, but that's what I believe is going on at the moment. And Terrence was doing one-on-ones. He was right in the middle of one-on-ones. It's like, are you kidding me? I just don't understand why anybody would think that this is a good thing. CBS is not going to change their mind. Big Brother is not going to re-script the whole week because some fools get out there and decide to yell over a wall. They're not doing it. And my second point, Grodner. Why did you think this was a good idea? There is a history of wall yellers as long as Big Brother's been in existence. Why would you think that you could go a solid week with these people in the backyard and not have any kind of interference? Dumbest move ever. Well, take that back. Kyle was the dumbest move ever. This is the second dumbest. Like I said, we lost feeds last night for almost 14 hours. So we got nothing and probably will not get anything. And the thing is, Kyle's not lying. In this instance, he told Terrence his whole game. He mentioned everybody that was in the alliance and that Monty, Joseph, and Taylor were running things. The only reason Taylor got thrown in there is because she was HOH last week. But Monty and Joseph are running things. Joseph has planned out every eviction that's been in that house since Amira. It started with Amira, and he has planned and executed every single eviction. Never being HOH, never winning the veto, but he has manipulated everybody in that house to do what he wants. Good gameplay? Yes, until you get caught. Until you start throwing up red flags, people start not trusting you. And I've said it from the beginning. I love Joseph to death. If I needed a lawyer, he's the first one I'd call. I'd want on my side. But as a player in the BB house, I wouldn't want to sit next to him in a finale night. I would lose. Everybody in that house right now would lose to Joseph if they did it right now. Because that's how good he is with everyone. Kyle and Alyssa are the only ones that would probably vote against him. The rest of the house, every single one of those people would vote for him. He is telling the truth. Did he betray him? Yes, absolutely. Did he betray the alliance? Yes, absolutely. Was he an asshole for doing so? Absolutely. But he is playing his game. We have to remember, and I keep saying that even to myself, It is a game show. It is a reality TV game show. It's not real. How can you get so bent out of shape and so crazy to go be getting people to yell over a wall? And what's bad is what they're saying on Twitter, if it's true, is that these people were paid by somebody to do so. They are making money off of yelling over the wall, allegedly, if what is being said on Twitter is true. Just leave them alone. Let us finish out this week. Is there a world where they could go ahead and tape everything that they needed? As far as they've already played the veto. If they have the veto ceremony today, which I think the inside of the house is doing, but if they were to do it today, then they would have everything that they needed up until the eviction night. So is there a world where they fast forward, they go ahead, they have the eviction, they tape it, and they let everybody back in the house except for the 2 that were evicted? Doubtful. It would be great for the live feeders anyway, because right now we're not getting anything. I was watching Cliff from Big Brother 21. He has his show, Cliff Notes from outside the Big Brother house. And I watched his before I did mine because I'm like, this is all I had. I was like, this is nothing. But he told the story of when his season 21, when they had the wall yeller. And when he started telling it, my mind went back to that season and I could remember it vividly. Him and Tommy and Nicole were in the backyard. They yelled that Tommy and Christy knew each other and owned a business together or something like that. Cliff said that him and Nicole decided they weren't going to tell anybody else in the house what was said because nobody in the house heard it, only the people in the backyard. And he said his reasoning was he didn't know if it was true. There was no way to verify it. And him and Nicole weren't going to use something that they didn't know for a fact was true. So that's why I say that, Terrence has got 2 ways to go. He can believe what they're saying and change his course and save Joseph, which I find highly unlikely. Or it can piss him off and everybody else in the backyard that they've got this music blaring now to try to drown all this out. Now, what it probably did do is if they heard it, Joseph now knows that Kyle turned on him. Turner now knows that Kyle turned on him. So everybody in the backyard knows at this point, if they heard and made out what was said, that Kyle turned on the alliance. So I'm sure there is a shit show going on in the backyard, if they understood it. And we're missing it all. Missing every bit of it. So, I guess tonight's episode is going to be all new stuff for us. Wednesday night's episode is going to be all new stuff for us because we're not getting to see what's going on back there. And then Thursday, if we don't have it back by then, if this continues, because it seems like neither side is getting tired, then we may possibly end up losing feeds for the rest of the week for the backyard. And that sucks. So that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to watch the feeds what I can today. It looks like that everybody on the inside is getting dressed up. They're doing hair and makeup and clothing and all that. So they may very well be having their veto ceremony today. But I don't think anything's going to change. Money and Jasmine are going to stay on the block. And as of right now, Jasmine is the one that's going out. Things could change before Thursday, but I highly doubt it. I think Jasmine's the one going home from inside this week. So that's about all I have for you guys today. I'm going to continue to get what tidbits I can. And I will be back tomorrow. As always, you guys have a great night and much love.